All right, let's jump right into this explainer and unpack a topic that, honestly, impacts real relationships every single day, yet is almost never talked about with any kind of clinical clarity. Today, we're diving deep into the science of oral intimacy. We're going to break down the hard biology, the deeply rooted psychology, and the actual pathways to pleasure. So, if you've ever felt completely stuck in your own head during intimate moments, well, this explainer is designed specifically for you.
So, why do men really want to go down on their partners? It's a question so many of us ask ourselves silently, isn't it? Because without a science-backed, honest answer to this, it usually just breeds confusion and distance in what should absolutely be a deeply intimate moment. We end up telling ourselves these stories that, frankly, stray pretty far from the clinical truth.
You know the feeling. You're lying there wondering, is it physical? Is it psychological? Is it about love, desire, dominance, or just something else entirely? You start wondering if your partner is acting out of genuine desire or, and this is the worst, if they're simply performing out of mere obligation. Are they bored? Are they judging you? This mental loop is incredibly common, but as we dive into the data today, you'll see exactly why those fears are usually completely unfounded.
Let's start with layer 1, the biology of giving pleasure. To really grasp what's going on here, we have to start with the hard biology. Because, believe it or not, the human brain is wired for giving pleasure just as powerfully as it is for receiving it. The male brain is literally flooded with this cascade of feel-good neurochemicals when giving pleasure. First up, dopamine. That's the brain's reward chemical, and it creates this massive sense of accomplishment. Then, just being in that close proximity causes a huge surge of oxytocin, which deepens emotional trust and safety. And finally, testosterone kicks in, driving desire and that primal urge to be just as close to you as possible.
And hey, this isn't just some wild theory. For a lot of men, the act of giving pleasure is directly, physically tied to their own profound sense of relationship fulfillment. The data from a 2017 study in the Archives of Sexual Behavior actually proves that guys aren't just doing this to check a box. When they prioritize your satisfaction, their own overall satisfaction with the relationship absolutely skyrockets.
Moving right along to layer 2, the psychology of desire. So, biology gets us in the door, right? But psychology is what keeps the connection thriving. The absolutely crucial concept here is erotic generosity. Men who have this trait don't just care about their own finish line. They derive enormous satisfaction from actually witnessing your pleasurable response. During oral intimacy, there are zero barriers and zero distractions. Seeing your unfiltered reaction makes them feel powerful, attentive, and deeply satisfied. It fulfills this genuine psychological need to be a capable, generous partner.
Oh, and alongside erotic generosity is this super fascinating phenomenon called erotic mirroring. He isn't just doing it for you. Through this beautiful, crazy feedback loop, your pleasure actually becomes a core part of his own arousal. When he sees, hears, and feels you responding, his desire feeds your pleasure, and your pleasure feeds his desire. It's this shared, constantly intensifying cycle.
Now look, obviously, not every guy is the exact same, but clinical observation shows they generally fall into 4 distinct categories of motivation. You've got the emotionally invested partner, who views intimacy as a true team effort. Then there's the naturally curious lover, who's just genuinely fascinated by learning how your body works. Third is the confidence seeker. He feels a massive surge of self-worth when he successfully pleases you. And finally, the love language expressor, for whom this act is literally a physical form of devotion. You know, a way of saying I love you through acts of service.
Let's pivot now to layer 3, the anatomy of insecurity.
We absolutely need to address the female experience here, because frankly, it doesn't matter how great his biology or psychology is if you are just too anxious to receive it. The biggest hurdle? Genital self-image. This is actually the strongest predictor of sexual function and satisfaction in women. The clinical reality is that most women significantly overestimate how imperfect they are. We worry about the shape, the size, the look, completely failing to realize there is an enormous, beautiful, natural variation in healthy female anatomy. Trust me, your partner isn't seeing the imperfections your anxiety is inventing. They're just seeing someone they desire.
When that poor self-image takes the wheel and you get stuck in your head worrying about how you look or taste, your body enters a mentally anxious state. This literally activates your sympathetic nervous system. Yep, your fight or flight response. The physical result of that? Blood flow to the pelvic region decreases, your natural lubrication drops, and muscle tension increases. Your anxiety is literally biologically preventing your body from experiencing pleasure.
And hey, speaking of those common worries, let's talk about scent for a second. A healthy, natural scent is a massively powerful biological attractant.
Evolutionary biology actually shows that chemical signals and pheromones in vaginal secretions trigger male arousal. So, unless you're dealing with a distinct, treatable medical condition like bacterial vaginosis, which, by the way, you should absolutely just see a doctor for, please stop going to war with your body. Your natural scent is biologically designed to draw him in.
Consider this massive number for a second, 70 to 80%. That is the astonishing percentage of women who cannot reach orgasm from penetrative sex alone. I want to be incredibly clear about this. Needing oral intimacy to finish is not a problem. It's not a dysfunction. It is literally just basic human anatomy. And the reason for that, it comes down to this number, 8,000. That's the approximate number of nerve endings in the external portion of the clitoris, which is far more than any other human body part. Because this area isn't directly stimulated during penetration, the Journal of Sex Research notes that women are twice as likely to orgasm when oral sex is included. It is hands down the most reliable, biologically sensible pathway to female pleasure.
Which brings us to the core, practical empowerment.
Understanding all this science and anatomy is amazing, but we have to actually put it into practice. By following these 4 steps, you can really begin to dismantle that anxiety. First off, practice body neutrality. You don't have to radically love every single inch of yourself right away, just accept that your body is normal and healthy. Second, communicate openly. Use your voice to gently guide him. It doesn't ruin the mood. For an invested partner, it highly enhances it. Third, address the medical side. If you have genuine physical discomfort, go to a doctor. These things are easily treatable. And fourth, give permission to receive. Really allow yourself to be the absolute center of attention.
I really want you to hear this and remember it. You are allowed to receive pleasure. You are allowed to be the focus. You are allowed to let someone love you well. So many of us have been conditioned to feel that prioritizing our own pleasure is somehow selfish. It absolutely isn't. It is the core foundation of what makes intimate relationships truly mutual, healthy, and fulfilling. So, I want to leave you with this final thought. Will you put your insecurities down, even just for now, and give yourself permission to receive? You don't have to banish your doubts forever, but just for tonight, take a deep breath. Remember that your partner's enjoyment is scientifically, biologically real. Your body is capable of extraordinary pleasure. So ask yourself, are you finally ready to let someone who loves you truly love you?